Can't hear you, Joe. No sound. Can't hear you. You're live, but I can't. Nobody can hear you, Joe.
Book club. They're part of a 3-part book club where they're learning study skills so that they can do well in college.
Let's see here. Okay. You got anything yet? You got anything yet?
Don't understand how that happened. Think I got some audio now. I apologize, folks. All I can do is apologize. I can't do nothing else but apologize. I don't know what happened from last night to tonight or today, this morning, but something happened. Everything was all queued up. You there, brother?
I'm here, man. I can hear you
All right.
good.
Hey, appreciate you. And appreciate my couple of brothers there in the background waiting on us. Hey, we're going to go ahead and get this thing started, folks. We're sorry about the 15-minute delay there, but hey, it's the Tipping Point Show. Sometimes things happen, and sometimes it is malicious by the powers that be going out there pressing buttons on the airways to keep us off the air because they don't want the truth here. But guess what? It's the Tipping Point Show, and we will prevail.
You are listening to The Tipping Point Show with your host, Mr. Just Ask Joe, John Yeah. Right here on WLOU. Stream it live on Facebook and WLOUonline.com. And now, The Tipping Point Show.
All right, folks. Again, it is the Tipping Point Show, and it is yours truly, Mr. Just Ask Joe. Hey, listen, we're going to go ahead and jump right in. I'm going to bring my brother from another mother, one of our favorites right here from the Bitcoin campus, brother Crypto Kenny, to the stage. It's John Ya, Esoteric Concepts, and yours truly, Mr. Just Ask Joe. Are we cool, bro? Can I go ahead and bring him to the stage?
Let's rock him.
All right, let's go. What's up, brother Kenny?
Hey, good morning, fellas. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
We see
good.
that sunshine just glistening off of you, brother.
Yeah. Calling from Daytona, Florida. One thing I love about Florida is waking up to the energy that it gives. You know, it's different than New York. You know, New York, you can wake up, it could be cold. You hear taxis and ambulances and fire trucks. You know, Florida, you wake up, you hear birds chirping. You know, the weather's nice. You know, it's just it's more serene. So I definitely love it more out here in Florida for sure.
Absolutely.
But
Go
yeah,
give us that 5-minute crypto wrap up, man. I know you got something heavy for us.
Yeah. You know, crypto is, you know, right now is extremely volatile, right? You know, a lot of people are seeing it constantly dip. You know, going from, you know, last year when as high as 68,000, now it's under 20,000, and it's going. And some people think it's going lower. They don't necessarily know what's happening. So I wanted to talk about adjusting, you know, on today's call, and I think that's one of the best things I can talk about when it comes to being an entrepreneur, being successful, being an investor, is adjusting. You know, a lot of times people are not necessarily understanding that's what you need to do in order to survive, in order to succeed. You have to be able to adapt to your environment, to your surroundings at any given time. If you look at the most successful people that we have, that we look up to in society, from an African-American community or a Black community, right? You look at individuals like Jay-Z, Diddy, you know, even athletes, you know, LeBron, Tiger Woods. You know, obviously there are more prestigious role models that we have. I'm giving you an example of what we see on a regular basis. These individuals, these types of entrepreneurs. If you look at their resume, they've done an incredible job of adjusting to what was going on in the market and being able to capitalize on that. If they had just stayed in their niche, they wouldn't have been as successful as they are now. They would have stayed, they would have put themselves in a box, and they would have hit a ceiling. So the reason why I bring that up is because when crypto is constantly changing, you want to make sure that you're in a position to adjust to whatever may arise, especially if you're trying to develop wealth. And here's what I mean by that. You know, last year when crypto was exploding, you know, people were making money all over the place through meme coins, you know, tokens that didn't even have any value or any utility, you know, that people were just putting out there for jokes. People were making a ton of money on it. You know, the market itself, just holding on to Bitcoin and other cryptos, people were just making a ton of money on it. You know, you put your money into it, you sit back, you relax, and everything just goes up, and everybody's excited, everybody's moving. But that's not how life always goes, right? You know, if you look at what's going on in society right now, when you're talking about inflation, possible recession, you know, people are in a position where, you know, their job is just not covering everything that they want to get done in their life, there has to be an adjustment, and it has to be done quickly, right? So here's my advice to everybody when it comes to crypto, because I think that most people look at crypto as more so as like a hobby, as something that they could potentially get into, while someone like myself, from my point of view, it's one of my income streams that I take extremely serious, right? So because I take it so serious, I can apply the fundamental knowledge that I have in other things into crypto, like working out, so on and so forth. But here's what I mean specifically. In times like this, when the market is going down and we don't necessarily know where the support is going to come from, when Bitcoin is going to bounce back up and start going in a different direction, these are the times when you have to self-reflect, evaluate your approach, and believe it or not, actually work harder and work smarter. And here's what I mean by that. First thing you want to do when you want to get involved in investing, because investing is absolutely the way to go to develop wealth. Those that get involved in Bitcoin now and invest in it when it's low, a year from now, 2 years from now, when it's at 150,000 per Bitcoin, they're going to talk about these times and feel like a hero, because at these times when the market wasn't really screaming invest, from the average person's perspective, the individuals that actually took that leap of faith, or I wouldn't even call it a leap of faith at this moment in time, because you can see the patterns that Bitcoin has throughout the years. But those that were able to set aside funds and put their money into crypto during these times will reap the benefits 2-3 years from now, and reap them in a very large way. But how do we get to this point? First thing we have to do is make adjustments. You're going to have to work harder. Most people are subconsciously telling themselves that they're trying to live a life where they don't work as hard. Now, that can be a little bit tricky to your brain. I think everybody needs to be able to work hard to make sure that your purpose is intact. If we don't have purpose in this life, we don't really have much, especially men. Men, we like to move with purpose. We need to know that we're doing something valuable for ourselves and for our family, for the economy, so on and so forth. So you're going to have to start working harder, whether it's on yourself, harder maybe personal development, reading more books, going into industries within crypto that you may not be too privy on. The last month or so, I've been spending a lot of time on calls that involve trading. I personally don't trade. I have a craft that never required trading, because I do a lot of marketing and I work with a lot of people. I invest from exponential growth perspective. However, when the market goes up or down, those individuals that know how to trade, they make money on both sides. So for me, it was like, okay, why don't I educate myself on trading? So I evaluated my schedule and I started positioning my time frame so I can dedicate some time to just educate myself on certain things. That's just me. But the advice I'm giving is that everybody should be doing that. If you are in a situation right now where you are looking at crypto and you're trying to determine if this is for you, if it's not for you, the best thing you can do is set aside time to educate yourself. Reading a book is free. It's all about balancing the time to get it done. Most people don't really take the time to say, you know what? I have some free time right now. Let me read 4 chapters of this book. Reading those 4 chapters of that book can propel your mind in a direction that it needs to go. Whereas avoiding that personal development, it keeps you in a certain rut and your outlook on life stays the same. If your outlook on life is not motivating you to be more successful, more productive, more of an inspiration to the people around you, then it needs to change. Where is the change going to come from? It has to come from personal development, feeding yourself the right information, being around the right people. For me, myself, I have extreme highs, extreme lows. As an entrepreneur, there are days, I've had months where I made over 30,000, and I have months where I could barely make 3,000. Well, I wouldn't say that. Well, give or take 3,000, just thinking like, whoa, it's a big drop. The circle that I have, they pick me up whenever I need to be picked up. They don't allow me to be down as a leader. And guess what? I designed that circle. You get what I'm saying? If I didn't have those people around me, my mentality is going to keep bringing me further down. So I'm saying all of this right now because crypto is not exciting right now. But this is the time to develop wealth. This is the time to start educating yourself. This is the time for positioning. So first thing you need to do is start living below your means. You know, most people are not doing that. What does that mean? It means, you know, identify in the things that you're spending on a monthly basis and cut the fat. You know, if you can buy groceries.
That's something that Brother Leonard speaks on as well. He speaks highly on that about going ahead and cutting the fat, like you said, saving that money. And man, with what you're talking about, it makes so much sense because you're right. People attach emotion to this thing. So ultimately they get all emotionally intertwined, and in the highs, they're happy and they're like, yeah, rah, yeah, crypto, let's do this. But you know, in the lows, guess what? That's when, if you're doing your research right, then that's when it's time to save some money and go buy some stuff that's on sale. And like you said, cut the fat, see where you can put some money, more money into investing and all that good stuff, brother. And I tell you what, with what you bring to the table, what you brought to the table today, hey, BitcoinCampus.org, make sure you check them out on Facebook, folks. And I'm going to tell you what, hey, didn't we do something? We did a little thing with the Tipping Point. So if you go to the tippingpointshow.com and you click on partners and you click on Bitcoin Campus, guess what? You see that logo? Instead of you having to pay $180 for your membership, instead of you having to pay $200 for your membership, guess what? You're going to pay only $100 with the Tipping Point Show. You can only get that membership discount right here with the Tipping Point Show. So we're going to go ahead and put the link in our comment section. And next up is the financing in 5 minutes with Lady Brazilianaire, Heather Weatherspoon, Crypto Kenny. It has been absolutely amazing, brother. We're going to see you next week, same time, same place. Love you, fam.
Love you too, brother. Thank you for having me.
All right. Peace, bro. All right. Next up, folks, like I said, it is our sis, Heather Weatherspoon, Lady Brazilianaire, coming right to you. What's going on, sis? How you doing? Welcome to the Tipping Point Morning Show.
How are you?
Fantastic.
So, I have a great financing tip for you all. And this exactly goes right into what the gentleman was talking about. So he said, work smarter, right? So we all know that we're going through this recession and that we have to work a little bit harder. So when he said something, and also to you, when you said something about saving money, so I have what's called my ledger book, right? And I'm actually showing you all my stuff. So every morning during what I call my CEO hour, because we all own a business, right? I literally go through every single thing I have and I write it out. All of my accounts, every bill that I have, I write it out. And this is what I teach my students too. Learn how to get on a budget. This will actually help you. My mother taught me this when I was in high school because I started working. I thought it was crazy. She used to use envelopes. But now I write everything out. From the 1st of the month to the 31st of the month, every single bill you have. Also, too, if you own a business, put everything on your ledger book. This lets you know how much money you have to make, how much money you have, and where it's going. With these numbers in this ledger book, you actually see what you're bringing in and what you're putting out. This will actually help you stay within your budget, stay within your means, so you don't overspend. Also, too, if you do like to drink coffee or go to Starbucks or go wherever every single morning, you can actually see your money. Some people just go and they spend, and then they wonder why they don't have any money left over. Get you a book and write every single thing down. If you own a business, wake up at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. This is what the millionaires do. They wake up early, meditate, exercise, and they go through their numbers. They have a little meeting. So within this hour, get your stuff together, your finances, so you can see where your money's going, what you're spending, and what you need to make.
Hey, this right here has been another Financing in 5 Minutes with Heather Weatherspoon. Lady Brazilianaire, we appreciate you, sis. Absolutely. Love it, love it, love it.
Love you.
Until next time.
Peace.
All right, man. It's just getting hotter and hotter in here with all these tips that's getting dropped right here, man. This is good stuff. Next up, folks, we got the stock spotlight with our other brother from another mother, brother Leonard Walker. How you doing there, family?
It's all good. It's all good. Just before I get started, I would like to say that always do your due diligence. All right. I am not a stock professional. As you guys know, I'm retired. Okay. But I am someone like most people who wants to gain a little extra money, who wants to put a little bit in my pocket, who wants to have some extra cash flow. So I've taken the time to research and do some things. Know that the stock market, you can always lose in the stock market. It's not anything is guaranteed. So with that being said, never, ever, ever take advice from a handsome gentleman with a peppered beard. All right. With a gorgeous smile. Always do your due diligence. All right. And with that said, let me go ahead and give you my stock of the day. That's going to be a stock called Kimball Royalty Partners. KRP is the ticker symbol. And for most of you all that don't know, I try to provide stocks for $50 or less per share. Okay. Why? Because that's what most of us can afford. Okay. So with that said, this one is $16.22. That's what it's going for right now per share. It pays a dividend of $1.79 per year or 47 cents per quarter. It has a dividend yield of 11.04%. Now, what does that mean? All right. Dividend yield is whatever the price of the dividend is, compared to what it pays, that's your percentage. So if I bought 100 of these things, okay, that means that per year I'm going to have $179. All right, based upon this information, because the stock can always grow. See, that's the other thing. So 1,000, I'm gonna have 1,000 something. I'm gonna have almost $2,000. The good thing about that is, as this stock increases, let's say it goes up to $25 a share, and you've bought it, right? And if it's paying 11% dividend yield, guess what? Now you're getting, instead of $179 a year, now you're getting over $2.50 a year per share. Okay, so this is a way, and like I said as before, is this game is not a sprint, it is a marathon. Okay, you want to be able to get into this and diversify and do all of these things so that we, down the line, when you get my age or older, all right, or even younger, all right, you can be able to retire and say, hey, I got residual income, I got passive income coming in, I got other streams, I'm good, so my time is freed up. All right. So that was my stock tip for that particular tip. Right quick, okay. I'm gonna kind of jump on to what the brothers and sisters was just talking about as far as finances. Some of us, all right, even though we're in a recession right now, or that's what they're saying, we're in a recession. Even though we're in that, and we have and we've got inflation. Many of us before inflation hit was living check to check. Okay, let's just be honest. Many of us was living check to check. Many of us didn't know how our money was running out before the month was running out. Okay, you got to ask yourself a question: why is that happening? Why don't I have any money left at the end of the month? And this is where the brother was talking about. You have to do a financial introspection. Meaning that you've got to go and look at all of your stuff and say, all right, do I need to spend this? Do I need to spend that? Do I need to, what about this? What about that? Am I wasting my money here? Am I buying lottery tickets? Am I buying cigarettes that's now $8, $10 a pack, right? Am I, all of these types of things. And just like the sister said, she has a ledger. Write the stuff down. When you write it down, you hold yourself accountable. All right. So when you look at all of that and add all it up, and you look at how much you make, and by how much you make, that doesn't mean what you get paid in your gross, what your net is, what you bring home. Remember, a lot of people say, oh, I make $3,500 a month. Okay, well, that's good. But how much are you bringing home? You're really bringing home roughly about 26 or 27. That's what you have to look at. All right. So with that in mind, okay, I'm in a dilemma myself. All right. I have a Ford F-150 that I want to get painted. That is going to cost me roughly $1,500, $1,600 to do. Right. Well, I'm looking at this stock and I say, you know what? I could buy 100 of these, right? Or I could paint my truck. What's going to be more important? You know, truck painting, you know, Mako, all of these places, they've been around, you know, they're going to be here, right?
Yeah, but if you paint your truck, then won't the stocks just come and jump in the back of your truck?
No, they won't. So I'm looking at it like this: is right now the market, like everybody's saying, the market is down. So as the saying goes, where there's fear, be greedy. Okay. As you see people sell stuff off and stocks plummet and go down, be greedy. Where there's greed, be fearful. That means hold on to your stuff and see what it does. See, so like I said, so what I'm gonna do is, instead of painting my truck, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and buy me about 100 of these Kimball Royalty, because you know, me and my wife talked about it. I say, you know what, is and this is about sacrifice. I say, hey, this right here is how I get ahead. I'm going to sacrifice painting my truck now, because I can always paint my truck. All right, I can always do that, but I'm not going to always have this opportunity to get these stocks at this low cost. So that's what I'm gonna do with that. So for everybody out here, and we talked about this last week about, you know, saving and how you get yourself in this type of position. All right, I've got a quick tip for you. All right, what I'm asking everybody who's listening who has never saved money, right? Or if you have saved money sporadically, you know, I am challenging you to do the $1,000 challenge. All right, meaning you need to save $20 a week. Okay, take that, whatever you get paid. If you get paid 2 weeks, you know, whatever, take out of your bank $20 and put it somewhere. And when you come around the next time, when you come around 365 days, you will have $1,040. That gives you 2 weeks to actually say, I'm not going to put $20 in. But the reason why this is a good thing is because, one, we want to show financial discipline. Okay. This is how you're going to be able to save and change your life and start to get the things that you want to have out of life. Is you have to be financially disciplined to be able to do something. So saving $20 for some people is not a big thing. Saving $20 for some people a week is rough. All right. And it forces you to look at what am I spending my money on? I can't put aside $20 for myself. But if you accomplish that, now you say, hey, I've saved $20. You know, a week at $20 a week, I've saved, you know, I got $1,000. Maybe I'll do 40 next year and have 2,000. See, so, but anyway, like I said, this is the challenge that I challenge everybody, young people, older people, anybody who's never saved, or even if you've just saved sporadically. Let's do the $1,000 a year challenge for savings, and just at $20 a week, or if you want to do more of that. And with that said, that's my time. Everybody have a blessed weekend, and I'm out.
Hey, and thank you for your service, sir. It is the 4th of July, Independence Day weekend. We appreciate you on that side, and we appreciate you on this side as well. Brother, thank you so very much. It has been another Stock Spotlight with Brother Leonard Walker. Peace, bro.
Peace, brother.
Peace.
Oh, man. Hey, man, I don't know what to say, man. I mean, man, what a rough start to the show. But then to jump in here and things just rock out so amazing, man. I didn't even get to ask you, brother, but how's your week, man?
It's been awesome, man. It's been awesome. I can't complain. I definitely like the info that was given out, and as I was listening, one of the things I think, especially on the saving piece and the looking at disposable income. We don't look at what is disposable income. What does that mean? And this goes to your normal person or person who just works 9 to 5, who don't know nothing about investing. And because here's the great picture here. If you don't understand finance, then what you may hear in your willingness to invest, you may hear, I'm going to get rich quick somehow. Because somehow that's what this turns into. How you going to get money fast? When you start talking about long term and you start speaking about those numbers like $20 a week, a lot of people kind of go to the side saying it's not going to happen because they're not looking at accumulating money piece by piece. If you don't know, if you haven't learned how to save, this is the time to do it. This is the time to look at your disposable income. Take that disposable income. What do I mean when I say disposable? Things you buy you absolutely don't need. It's just you just buying stuff. There's a habit that is connected to marketing, and here's what it is. It's based like this. People spend money. A lot of people spend money. It makes them feel good just to spend. It makes them feel belonged. It makes them feel like they have a purpose just to spend money. So in other words, people get money and they look for something to buy, right? And this is the consumer mindset. Now on the salesman mindset, he wants you to have no discipline in your spending. The salesperson wants you to have no discipline in your spending. His job is to sell it to you, whether you need it or not. It don't matter. His job is to get it in your hands, and so he's gonna make it sound good. He's gonna make it wishful to get it off into you, right? You have to be the person that says, do I need this? Do I need that? And so when you look at disposable income, do you drink? Do you smoke? You may look at these things and say, I need those things, but actually you don't need those things. And so if you have a drinking habit, you have a smoking habit, you have a bad eating habit, if you can curb those things, you can easily put away $100 or more a month. And when I say put $100 away, I mean put it over to the side. And I don't mean put it into the bank. I mean find you something to invest in. Start having the mindset like this here.
That money's got to move. That money's got to shake.
The money's got to be workable for you, or it is standing still. Money that is standing still is declining. It's just sitting there. It's declining. Money that is working for you is moving, meaning that money is like congealed energy. It moves. So what you should do is look at your likes. What do you like? You like Nike? What kind of clothes do you wear? What kind of symbols do you put on? You like that. Then go look at putting that $100 a month away in that. Go look at taking $100 and finding you a good stock to invest in. And constantly put $100 over it. Put $100 over it. Every month, just throw 100 recurring money, just throwing it over there, right? And then you look up a year or two later, that money's working for you, not only in the sense of the stock gaining, but also in the dividends that Leonard spoke of. So you need this creates a different mindset for money. When you start looking at curving your spending habit, at the same time investing in things you use and like yourself. This is why I say my investments is in product, companies, and services. That's why I invest. Why? Because I can see the product, I can see what they do, and I can see the company. And that's a sound investment. It's not just going to disappear on you overnight. And so what you do is have a recurring investment. The other thing I tell you that's very important to have for your family, get some life insurance. It's just as easy as putting away some money for your family. Yes, you're not going to see it. You ain't supposed to see it. It's for your loved ones. We need to have a mindset of throwing $100 away a month in a life insurance policy, guaranteed to get your family some wealth. We got to look at money differently instead of looking at throwing money away. And if you haven't learned nothing yet with these prices going up, gas prices, you have to, if anything you haven't learned during this season of this, is that what you should have learned was how inflation continues to eat at your disposable income. Right? And so that makes you say, you know what, I don't need that. And so you need to look at investing that way, to where you can put money away and don't look at it. Right now, you're living, you're eating, you got your gas, your light on, you got gas in your car. And what we want to look at is now just put money away for that long-term future, because check this out. People make fun of people getting old. Your ass is going to get old one day, right? Look forward to it. You should look forward to aging and how you going to look 20 years from now. You should look forward to that shit, so that you are now based upon what you're doing now. And two things, I'm going to leave this point right here. And this is a great piece. There's two ways you should live your life. Actually, two ways. You should live your life as though you're going to die tomorrow. And you should live your life as though you're going to live forever. Those two components will keep you in line. If you think you're going to die tomorrow, guess what you're going to do? You're going to reach out to your closest loved ones, and you're going to give them love. I love you. I appreciate you. You've done a lot for me. See, that's that love. That's an appreciation of life now. And if you believe you're going to live forever, then that means you need to be conservative and start conserving your wealth. And there's a difference between an ant and a grasshopper. The ant works all summer long to burrow into the ground to save food. The grasshopper, he just runs around and eat. He saved no food. When the wintertime comes, the grasshopper starves, while the ant's got food to live to the next winter, or the next summer, that is. So that's how we got to live. Stop living like a grasshopper and eating up all your food, and live like an ant. Put stuff away.
There you go, all y'all young grasshoppers out there. Hey, all type of good stuff there. And we're going to switch gears here in a second. We'll go to commercial, and we'll come back. And we got a quick little conversation that we want to talk about, a little video we want to show you guys. But, Kari made mention, as you talked about life insurance policies. When it comes to life insurance, it's really one of the most secure places to put your money. As far as not having to worry about, because these companies are backed by other companies. Your policies are reinsured. You're not worried about your money going anywhere. And one of the points that Kari made was put it in a whole life insurance plan with the cash value. Folks, just as Joe.net, the tipping point show at gmail.com. Listen, I'm a life insurance agent. I've been licensed for years, and that's what I do by day. Ultimately, when it comes to life insurance, you'd be surprised as to, there shouldn't be the fact that I have plans for people that are 90 something years old, right? Those people typically, 80 was like the top of where a person could actually get approved. But, I can go to Aetna and I can get somebody approved who's in their 90s. Folks, I come across that very often throughout the year, people who are 60, 70, 80, 90 years old that don't have anything set up so that when they pass on, their family doesn't have to worry about the burden of the cost of their life insurance. Like John Yah said, folks, it's not for when you die. It's for when they live. The people that you say you love, but you didn't even love them enough to take time to prepare so that they wouldn't have to come out their pockets for you later on. You don't know what hospital bills you may have lingering by the time you pass on. You don't know what rent, what mortgage, what anything set up. Folks, you got to prepare for these things. And when you're better prepared, guess what? Life is a lot easier for you and everyone else around you. So absolutely. Hey, I want to give a big shout out to Phyllis Satia Churchill Myers, Queen Shout out to you, Queen Keisha Williams, Grand Rising. Hey, Health Daddy Wow, Grand Rising, brother. And again, Kari Muhammad, Grand Rising to you. Folks, we're going to jump to commercial real quick. We'll be right back. It is the Tipping Point Morning Show.
Hey folks, check out healthdaddywow.net. 100% plant-based herbs and supplements. Whether you're in person or online, use the word tipping for 10% off. Remember, feel better, look great, healthdaddywow.net. Remember, healthdaddywow.net.
Thank you, Truth Be Told, for allowing God's Lives Matter to be a sponsor. Wearable Products, as the purple t-shirt, is bearing witness every life created by God has infinite value. Visit God'sLivesMatter.com.
BB Trading Company, home of soap sticks and Saya Baba products. Over 400 locations at a store near you. Cincinnati, Ohio, Louisville and Lexington, Kentucky, Southern Indiana, or find yours online at sayababa.com. Again, that's sayababa.com. A BB Trading Company, where you can find fragrances to incite your senses.
You are listening to The Tipping Point Show with your host, Mr. Just Ask Joe, John Yeah. Right here on WLOU. Stream it live on Facebook and WLOUonline.com. And now, The Tipping Point Show.
All right, folks. No worries. We will be having a new intro coming to you soon. Don't worry about that, folks. It's coming. Man, so we want to switch gears real quick. We had a subject that was kind of brought to the table here, and love what we drummed up here. Brother John brought this to the table, and with that being said, then it kind of helped us create this subject, this title here, which is Parents, Are You Using Your Wealth as a Weapon to Discipline Your Kids? Are you using your wealth as a weapon to discipline your kids? Or are you being inclusive with your wealth and teaching your kids about it so that they can live long and prosper and pass it down, right? So what we want to do is show you guys this video real quick, and it's let's see, it's a nice little video. It's about 5 minutes long, and I think you guys will find it very, very interesting, and I think you guys will love it. So we'll get into this right here, right now, and bada bing, bada boom.
If you are a parent, this is for you. Be your best friend. And what does it look like? I mean, we want to hear what you say. Somebody's over here.
Smiley coming up. So in my house, with my mom, it was always everything was up for discussion. Everything was up for discussion because my mama, she a real understanding person. So it was literally a conversation I had growing up with me. I'm a real knowledgeable person. I like to know a lot of stuff. So the way I would come across and say things, she'll be like, I know you're not coming from a standpoint of, you trying to be disrespectful to people, but some people don't understand you how I understand you. So you might have to correct yourself. So I literally had a conversation with my mom. I was like, okay, I'm finna tell you stuff and stop me when I get disrespectful. I express my feelings, but that don't happen with everybody. And so when I was standing up here and you guys were like, don't belittle your children, but the whole statement of you're not on my level sounds like belittlement to us. It's saying you don't have as much value as me. You're not as important to me. You don't put up what I put up, so you can't have a say so in what we do. You don't pay bills. You don't own this house. You don't pay for nothing. So and it's
good.
And it
Go ahead.
And when you bring up the stuff that you do for your children, it makes us feel like a burden. It makes us feel like I can't wait till I grow up so I don't have to be a burden to you anymore. If you say it's like when people be like your parents had a life before you, it make you feel like I made you so miserable and bitter and like I just don't want to be here anymore because you don't want me to be here anymore. So why should I be here and put my best foot forward if the person who gave birth to me and made me come in this life doesn't want me? How am I supposed to look at somebody else for love if I feel like I'm not getting love at home? What do you do when you want to have somebody to talk to, but they like you can't talk to them? You go to somebody else to talk to, and that's not who you want us to talk to. How am I supposed to come and talk to you and you don't listen to me, but somebody else may listen to me, but they not gonna treat me how you want me to be treated? You love me, but you don't show it. But they don't love me, but they act like they love me. So I'm going to go to the person that acts like they love me and not the person who I'm going to go to the person who acts like they love me. Because when you grow up like this and you grow up with people who emotionally stunt your growth, you go looking for other people and you insecure. You go looking for other people for sex, for people who going to tell you, oh, you're pretty. That's why the first person to tell you you're pretty, I'm glad my mama never, they say your parent and your family is your first bully, point out every insecurity you have, and then you want your kids to feel beautiful and smart and go to school with people who telling them the same thing you tell them. That's not going to work. You can't want to be your children's love and shelter, but you're not that. That's materialistic things. If God was only materialistic to you, you will feel hurt. You need to have your spirit be healed. You need to have your spirit be fed. It's okay to have clothes and shoes and all this stuff, but what about my spirit? What about my emotions? What about my mental state? You can't be, you look pretty on the outside. You got me nice shoes. You got me nice things, but I'm struggling on the inside. Some people want to commit suicide, but they look good on the outside. Y'all focus on the outside so much that you don't take the time. You say you listen to your children, but 9 times out of 10, you're not really listening because we don't feel safe. You say you create a safe space, but that's 9 times 10 is not true. Because even though my parents never hit me or they never threatened to hit me, they words hurt even worse. When you telling me, you never say you disappointed in me, but your body language show it all. You look at me like I'm just some, like you can't believe how you raised this. Some people say it to kids, I can't believe I raised somebody like this. Well, if you raised me so beautifully that you shared you with, how come I ended up like this? It's a lot of things that go into having a kid. Some people end up resenting their kids when they have them too young or they have them with the wrong person. Some people just realize that sometimes it's too late to recognize the trauma, because when you get older and I don't have to spend time with you, how often do you see me? When I don't have to live with you no more, how often do you see me? When I have some people get jobs, some people hang out with friends' house because they don't want to go home, and you refuse to recognize that you yourself have caused your child's trauma, whether you want to admit it or not. And that's the issue.
Yeah.
All right, man. So there you have it. So, and I've never heard it put so eloquently from that perspective there personally. And I think a lot of us, and I will say that there's a culture mindset with this as well. I think a lot of us, may have forgotten that kids have feelings too. So those things that we might have said and things of that nature. You know, oh, you can't do this because you don't have the money. It's my money that's doing this, that, and the other for you. You know, when we're disciplining or reprimanding, you know, words hurt and they create trauma and they cause you know, long lasting issues. And, you know, absolutely this is something to think about out here. What's on your mind, Mr. Esoteric Concepts? What's on your mind, man? I know it's percolating in there.
Well, you know, this has so many layers to it, and it's really a thing that parents need to wrestle with. And I think she said some things that really hit home, piercing to the heart. If you're a parent, if you didn't get it, then you probably won't get it. And it's really about understanding emotions and feelings from someone else's shoes, regardless of what you think and feel. When you send out that vibration, you don't know how it's received, specifically from your own child when they're born into this world and how they see and look to you. It's very important. And I think certain words are misunderstood. Even myself, I'm guilty of using some of those words that she said, meaning that, you know, I pay the bills around here, you know, who do you have a bill? Those kind of terms. When she said that, I immediately reflected on reverse feelings. In other words, sometimes you got to take yourself out of your shoes, your ego shoes, your egoic big feet shoes, and put your feet in someone else's shoes for a minute and just rock with that. And how does that make you feel? When she made the statement about, you know, saying you don't pay any bills, that when I thought about it, that sounds like a burden. That sounds like the person you're talking to is really a burden. And I can see where the child says to themselves, I can't wait till I get out of here. You know, shit, I'm tired of hearing that piece, right? And so what we're doing, basically, we're alienating us from our children. It's like the term when we raise children, we put them out at a certain age, or we talk about getting them out the house. And really, in this society we're living in, there shouldn't be a limited time. I mean, it shouldn't be a set time. It should be when that child is ready to go, mentally and physically, emotionally ready to get out on their own and take care of themselves. And I think the door should always remain open. Something she said was very crucial. You had me. You brought me into this world. Now you don't want me. You know, now you're trying to get rid of me. You know, and that can be damaging to a child growing up as an adult. And then that child do the same thing to their child. Hey, you're 18, you got to get ready to go. Hey, you don't pay no bills around here. I pay all the damn bills. You know, then you shut up and do what I say. Then we're passing down the same trauma. And now we have a generational curse here, what we're doing to our kids. So I think it was a great piece. But here's a piece that I think for myself, and I tell everyone, if you're not a grandparent, if you haven't reached that point yet, you haven't fully reached what a parent is. When you become a grandparent, it's a totally different ball game. Totally different mindset when you become a grandchild. When your child has a child, is when that's why it's called grand, because you're above that. And when you start seeing your grandchildren, you have a better appreciation of the child. In fact, what I've learned now from my grandchild, I wished I had and knew when I was raising my child, because the level is so much on a total different level when you become a grandparent. And that's why I always say, you know, if who you are now, don't assume you think you know everything, no matter who you are, where you are, because you're supposed to be inferior to who you are now. In other words, what you're going to be, who you are now is inferior to who you're going to be. So understand that you always keep a door open to learning, even if it's a check learning, meaning check yourself and saying, hey, you know what? I was wrong behaving that way. I was wrong saying those words to her. And that's the grown parent. The grown parent would say that. The ego parent won't. No, I ain't never saying that. No, I ain't never apologized. Nope, it's my damn bills, my house. You got to go, you know. And so we won't check our ego and say, you know what? I am wrong. I was wrong. And I need to apologize. I need to say, hey, I'm sorry for treating you like that. Hoping that become the catalyst that they don't treat their child like that.
Exactly. And I think that's where the important part is, because again, you know, generationally, when we say generational wealth, it's not just money.
No.
It's education, knowledge, understanding. compassion, generational. These are all things that help build an all-around sense of wealth, which helps create happiness. So if in fact you're checking that, man, then it's this is something that is absolutely important. Kari Muhammad, he says, once you have grandchildren, you lose the use of the word no. And we know he's being facetious because with his grandparents, you tend to want to do so much more for this you got a chance to see this next generation, this not second but third generation here. You're looking at that, and if you're ever so lucky, you get a chance to see a fourth generation. That's dope. So yeah, I can see you lose the use of the word no.
Well, you're supposed to kind of lose that word because you're not a parent. You don't see your child. You don't see your grandchild every day. You see your grandchild maybe once a week on the weekends or something. So it's a little bit more loose than relaxed. This ain't the parenting piece. But watching your child be the parent is the key. Watching, and because even my child comes to me for advice of her own child. That's why I'm called grand.
Oh, right? Absolutely.
So she comes to me to correct something, and I give her the better me now, not to me 20, 30 years ago. I give her the best of me now, the things that I've studied, the king me now, the more refined me now is different than me then. So I give her the refined me now to help her now to sharpen up who she's going to be in the future. So it's almost like you said that word, generational wealth, because it is knowledge. It is knowing how to behave, knowing how to move on this earth, knowing how to move amongst other people along with your wealth. That's more important than actually money. I can leave my daughter hundreds of thousands of dollars, but if I ain't left her with this mental health wealth, and then it would do her no good because she was spending and blow it all up anyway.
Absolutely. And and that's important. I know I personally, even this week, as recent as a few days ago, I was talking to my dad, trying to get some advice about some things with my youngest son, and it's one of those things where it's important. I value his knowledge, and he's not the same dad today that he was 20, 30 years ago. So it's just interesting because we evolve, right? As people, we evolve. Like you said, you are inferior today to your tomorrow self. And you should be, because every day you should be growing. And that's for all of us. That's not I've done grown up and I'm no longer in school, so now I stop learning. No, if that's the case, then you should go ahead and find yourself a coffin and lay in it. because if you sitting here trying to tell me that you're done learning, it's over. And the sad part about that is something that is evident in a lot of people without them even saying it. You can look at a person and see how much they're not doing, where their day is simply 9 to 5 work and come home, chill, sit, relax, do nothing. So you're not doing anything to grow. You're not doing anything to progress. And people say, oh, well, I'm tired, I don't have time, and this, that, and the other. Hey, that's what hard work, that's what it's about. It's about hard work. It's about taking that time after work that you normally want to chill, sit, and do nothing, and that's where you focus on growing that business. That's where you focus on researching a little bit more about these stocks. That's where you focus on researching a little bit more about these cryptos. That's when you focus on learning how to run a business, teaching yourself by going online, using this supercomputer that you got in your hand to study just a little bit more. And this right here, as we talk about it, this is information that you have the ability to continue to pass down generations. And one of the things I love about you, brother, is that you don't just talk this stuff, because I've been around you, I've been around your daughter, I've been around you with your grandbaby, and I mean, I found it, mind blowing in a sense, how you have an intelligent conversation with your grandbaby, and it's just interesting to watch that, because there's a lot of people that when they see their kid doing something or grandbaby doing something that they have these primitive ways of speaking to them, as opposed to talking to them and helping them understand why this, that, or the other is the case. And I've seen you in action doing that, in a sense, telling your grandbaby why she shouldn't do X, Y, Z, and helping her come to that understanding herself. So now she just learned, a light bulb went off, because of that. And so when this child was speaking in this video, you're absolutely right, man. It's the way that we talk, the way that we've grown up and been taught to talk to our kids is just is very like you said, primitive. And a lot of people in this day and age need to learn to grow up when it comes to disciplining and talking to their kids, their spawn. These are the next presidents, these are the next Congress people, folks. Like my dad said the other day, he said, look, I just hope they don't stick me in a dark corner somewhere. You know what I mean? We got to nourish these kids' minds because, again, they will be the next whatever it is that takes control of how we move in this society. So you better do them right.
Exactly. I mean, when you think about it, it's an investment. It's an investment for you because,
we're still talking investing.
Right. Because you ain't supposed to go to a nursing home. I'm sorry. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to be taken care of by your family, your kids, your grandkids. Really, that's the real setup. The real setup is your children take care of you, not throw you off into a home somewhere. But there is reasons. There can be, hey, if I done lost every mental capacity of my brain.
Yeah, Alzheimer's, dementia, things of that nature,
If I'm shitting on myself and I can't help it, you may want to go ahead and stick me on in a, I can kind of see that. But if I got all my cognitive up here in the brain and everything, I shouldn't be put into a home because I'm still valuable to the family with this here, right? I'm still valuable. So you got to pay attention to that. And most important, how we raise our kids. And listen, she made some great points. And I wanted to kind of point at parents, some parents who don't want kids and they end up having kids and the child becomes a burden for many reasons. Whether you thought you was going to help, whether for women, you thought you was going to have a man in your life to help you raise a child and find out you didn't, then the anxiety or the feeling against that kind of creeps in of how you treat your own child. It creeps in, right? I really don't like you. I really don't want you. I got too much I got to do and I got to take you here and there. And so this is where we're getting into this area where we are parents, unfortunately. And so now we're at this stage to where we're trying to get rid of our kids. We want to send them to school and put them in places to where we can do whatever we want to do. And so many ways we're not really parenting. We want to either go out into the clubs, we want to do hanging out, and we see our child as a burden. This is what creates abortion. This is what feeds abortion. And in a certain sense, it makes sense for abortion to be valid, specifically if you don't think you're going to be a good parent. And if you realize here's what's interesting, Joe. One of the pieces that I just maybe within the last several days came to terms with looking at abortion different. And the reason I started viewing it different just in the last few terms, in other words, I agree with abortion now, but not based on the court ruling. I agree with abortion based on nature. Here's why I say that. The universe itself provides herbs to assist in abortion. Did you hear what I said? There are herbs that has been used for thousands of years in our culture that can assist abortion for many, many reasons. It is the same as understanding that only the weak will die and the strong will survive, the survival of the fittest. Even trying to get in this dimension, only the strong ones will survive. If a weak sperm get into the egg, and somehow that sperm is deficient, or it is lacking certain minerals, and it was going to come into this world either retarded or something wrong, there's reasons to not bring that child into the world. And women can tell you this in certain spiritual realms. They can tell you that they have bad feelings about bringing their child that they have in the womb into the world. So they will do some type of assist abortion for many reasons. So nature itself doesn't have any pity for it, because in nature, if you even look at the lioness and the behaviors of certain animals and animal species, they only mate with the strongest. Why won't they mate with the weakest? Because of fear it will not be able to survive this harsh climate. And so you always want to mate. Even when we choose to mate, with women, when you choose a mate, you should choose a mate that can be a protector and a provider for what you are about to produce. Why? To prolong that lifestyle and that life being, whether it is wealth or knowledge. So nature itself represents that. I'm not in agreement with the court's ruling. Well, I'm in a certain agreement that says the court says, hey, we don't want to touch it. We leave it up to the states to do it. But my point I'm making is that we need to have a different mindset of how we bring children into this world and the method that we use. And that particular method that we use to bring child into this world is not a method to be played with. In other words, we're playing with one of the most powerful things in the universe, and that is having sex. That's the most powerful thing in the universe. Why? Because it can create another you. But somehow in this society, we take that most powerful thing in the universe and we take it as a toy and we play with it. And then poop up, oh, I'm pregnant. Oh, it ain't mine. I don't want it. I don't want nothing to do with it. Then why are you playing with the most powerful thing in the universe if you don't want to take the responsibility of what you're going to create? That is my issue. And so I think again that we need to be more careful of how men, where you putting your thing at, and women, who you opening your legs to. I think it's extremely important that we don't play with that powerful element to bring a child into this world that we don't want. And that's what we just heard. Maybe we've heard that somehow, like she said, that child became a burden to a parent, but they didn't want it. So imagine you actually planning to have a child. No, it wasn't an accident. Guess what, my baby, I'm pregnant. That's an accident. I'm talking about y'all actually are talking about let's have a child, let's do it, let's work on it. That's a plan. And that child coming in this world will come in this world with pure unconditional love, because they will want it. It's unfortunate that we're fucking around freely and just openly and just accidentally getting pregnant. I wouldn't want to come here on a fucking accident. Oh, mama was out partying, here I am. I would rather come into this world on two parents who planned to bring me into this world. That makes sense. It makes more sense to me that my parents just was fucking around and somewhere from a party, and the first night they just have sex and poof, here the fuck I am. That don't make sense to me. If I would say I want to choose to be into this dimension, I would want two parents who both love me and plan to bring me into this world. So what am I saying? I'm saying is that be careful of that tool that you're using to reproduce with. It's not a joke. It is real shit. And women, you are now stuck with two dimensions in this world. Either your ass is going to have that baby and treat that baby well and do what you got to do to keep that baby, or you're going to send that baby down the toilet, or send that baby or bring that baby into the world and mistreat it. Regardless, this decision is on you. And this is one I was talking about on Carl's show, which was totally misunderstood by some women. Hear these words, close your legs, and they take that as. But here's the thing. If the Supreme Court made a blanket statement and said in the United States, it is illegal to have an abortion and all abortion clinics must close, what is your solution to the problem? Do you continue to have babies and continue to do that shit? Or for women who are just having abortion more than once, once, okay, maybe. But nevertheless, don't sometime a responsibility and some accountability come into the picture that you will say, hey, just because sex is free, does that mean I should just go have it so freely?
But is it really free?
Is it really free? And for brothers, Brothers need to pay attention to where they're putting their penis, because this is energy. You know, you run around brothers just want to stick it. And the sister don't know any better. And like that sister said, she's not getting love at home. So therefore she seek love out here. And all she runs into is people that just want to have sex with her, right? And then we having babies we don't want. And then we have a whole world of misfits and children who are shooting and killing each other, robbing and stealing and feeding the prison system. I'm just saying.
Hey, you absolutely right, man. It is moving without thinking about the accountability that comes after.
Man, sex is fucking powerful. It brings another you into the world. It's nothing to be played with.
Man, and on top of that, you know, it moves things. It makes things happen.
Yeah.
You know, so just think about it. You know, the right woman, you know, can change the mind of a president with her sex. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying that's nothing to be played with. You're absolutely right. And I can admit being guilty as a younger man of not thinking about it in that manner and just, you know, getting out there to stick it, and that's it. You know what I mean? So, you know, but it's a new day, and we've got to think different. We got to start thinking more about accountability and things of that nature, folks, because this world is changing drastically.
Oh, yes.
Drastically. So you don't want to be caught out there not knowing, not understanding, and not prepared. So even as you make investments into stocks, crypto, your business, as we heard today, you're still making investments into yourself, your family, and the community at large as you continue to make all of those other investments. All right. So Medicaid and Medicare and things of that nature, you know, we all pay for that stuff. So ultimately, if you're focused right on some of the things we talked about before, the stocks, the crypto, the investing in yourself, the investing in your family, then guess what? You don't have to put a burden on those universal systems there that put a strain on us all.
Right.
So you know, if you did stocks and investing right, and you invested in yourself right, eating better, this, that, and the other, investing in your family right, guess what? You don't end up in a nursing home.
That's right.
You know what I mean? With the government paying for it or anything like that, you'll end up like that. So either way, folks, it has been another episode of the Tipping Point Morning Show. Yours truly, Mr. Just Ask Joe, Brother John Yah, Esoteric Concepts. Folks, we hit some great points today, and thank you for riding along with us. Everybody out there, I don't know who Facebook user is, but again, whoever this Facebook user is, it's obviously a person of melanated descent with their melanated praying hands there. You know, I saw someone who shared the show a bit ago, so I feel like maybe, just maybe, it was that divine sis. But nonetheless, folks, we appreciate you. Love you, bro. Love you. See you next week. Same place. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to see you in a little bit here, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right. I'm going to hit you up, man. Bro, it's been another episode, another great show.
Absolutely.
Peace.
Peace.
You are listening to The Tipping Point Show with your host, Mr. Just Ask Joe, John Yah. Right here on WLOU. Stream it live on Facebook and WLOUonline.com. And now, The Tipping Point Show.